Hey everyone, the Reading Bard here, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you all so much for the love you gave my first video, I really appreciate it. Anyways, today I'm going to continue A Lot Can Change in 5 Seconds, written by my bumbling, buzzing brain. Today will be chapter 2, entitled The First Sludge Villain Incident, from Izuku's point of view. Hope y'all enjoy! Here's a summary. This is part 1 of 2 of the events that happened to Izuku prior to his appearance in chapter 1. Or, Izuku's school day went from its usual bad to extra bad to, oh great, now there's an actual villain trying to kill me and wear my corpse as a meat suit bad. Izuku's morning actually started out perfect. His mom ate breakfast with him before she had to run to court. He got his tie right on the first try, even made it to class early, not just shy of 5 seconds as the bell rang, which meant obviously everything was about to go to hell. Of course, there was the usual crap. Classmates called him names that almost counted as slurs. Bakugo screamed whatever he had felt like at whatever shitty extra annoyed him, usually Izuku just for breathing. The teacher made another snide comment about his intelligence as he handed back a test. Like all those times Izuku got 100% and still got marked down to 0 because no way a quirkless kid could get that grade without cheating. His mom raised hell the first couple of times it happened, but Izuku had learned to keep his mouth shut, and some battles were just plain pointless. One did not go from Bakugo's best friend to his favorite punching bag without picking that up. Good morning or not, it was still Wednesday, which meant asking for the day to get better was unrealistic. The day getting incredibly worse, though, somehow, wasn't on his bingo card. Things started to go from regular bad to what the actual fuck bad at exactly 3 minutes past 12. Izuku knew because his phone buzzed. A message from his girlfriend, asking if he was still coming to visit that weekend. Right on the dot. He wanted to answer, but if the teacher called him, his phone would be gone. For who knows how long. And he had a call with his dad later. No way he was missing that. So he shoved his phone out of sight, just as the teacher came back with a stack of papers. Okay class, the school's guidance counselor has asked we go through your high school applications so we can have a discussion about them and peer review them in order to make sure you're all being realistic. The moment Izuku heard those words, he knew with absolute certainty that this was going to go badly for him, specifically. He was, of course, 100% correct as usual. The teacher went through the applications in order of school prestige. Makes sense, Izuku thought. Save the fireworks for last. The noise from his classmates got louder, like a wasp nest about to burst, as the teacher got further down the list, waiting for an excuse to go off, or for someone to poke the nest and set them loose. When the teacher reached the last 2 papers, Izuku braced himself. And finally, the 2 students considering UA from this class, Bakugo Katsuki and... The teacher paused, staring at the neat handwriting. Izuku saw the exact moment the teacher's face went from surprise to sadistically gleeful. There was a nasty glint in his eyes as he looked up. His eyes were all teeth, no warmth. Midoriya Izuku. Izuku closed his eyes as the sound of an explosion went off in the front row. Well, being alive was nice while it lasted. As Bakugo's tantrums went, Izuku had to admit this one was pretty mild. He didn't love having his notebook chucked into the fountain, or being told to take a swan dive off a roof and pray for a quirk in his next life. But at least his ribs were still in one piece. Well, until the other classmates got involved. They always waited in the wings until Bakugo had finished, and skulked off somewhere else. Only then did they jump in for their own fun. Izuku wheezed as he fished his notebook out of the water. Oh well, he thought, taking his usual shortcut home. At least I can go home and be done with today. 5 seconds later, naturally, because the universe had it out for him, the villain rose under his feet. Izuku's back hit the ground, knocking the air out of him. The villain was on him in a second, forcing his way down Izuku's throat. He'd had the wind knocked out of him before, but this was 100 times worse. The villain didn't even have a real shape, but Izuku could feel him pressing it, filling up every bit of space. He couldn't see what was happening inside, but he could imagine it, mud like sludge, coating his insides. Pressing in, dark green fluid flooded his throat and lungs. If he didn't act fast, the rest of his organs would be next. He dragged himself forward, fingernails going from clean to bloody as he crawled. Desperate until he got one fingertip on his backpack strap. If he could reach the front pocket, grab the emergency rubbing alcohol he kept there, he might be able to disrupt the villain's quirk. Water and alcohol together wouldn't be enough to finish the villain, but it might buy Izuku 5 seconds. Not much, but it would have to do. Then he could make a run for it. Make it to the clinic on Akasukidori. Someone would be there, maybe Natsuo. He'd have to apologize to his dad for missing the call. But that would be fine. It had to be. 5 seconds. Izuku had just gotten his hands on the bottle when he heard a loud boom. A sound he only ever heard on the tiny TV at home. Until now. Detroit Smash! Alright everyone, that has been chapter 2. The first Sludge villain incident, Izuku. I really hope you enjoyed this chapter. I did. It was so well written, I could imagine every scene I was reading out perfectly in my head as it would be happening. And I apologize if I mess up any words that are a bit more Japanese sounding. Very difficult for me to pronounce sometimes. And I hope you enjoy the little bit of music I added, just to have in the background. Yeah. So, thank you all for watching the video. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want more fics, and feel free to drop any recommendations in the comments below. Until then, everyone, I will see you again next time.